Alexander Mattison, RB1 right now for them. He finished as RB 49 last year, 74 rush attempts, 283 yards, 5 touchdowns, 15 receptions, 18 targets, 91 yards, and 1 touchdown. Thoughts on Alexander Mattison?
He's a lesser version of Dalvin Cook. He's not as dynamic. His hands aren't as good. You still have the injury questions and durability questions, I guess, if you will. You're on a team that's pass first and win now, between where Cousins is at in his career and Justin Jefferson, Jordan Addison. We'll obviously talk about those guys here shortly. But I'm kind of passing on Mattison left and right, guys. Like, for a while there, he was going so late, like you could pick him up in the 8th round or something like that. It was worth it. But now that he's creeping up into the 5th, like, I don't want it. Like, it's too rich for my blood. I'm going to go other directions. And not that he can't play, he can. We've seen snapshots of what Alexander Mattison can do. Obviously, Minnesota felt comfortable enough with Mattison that they released Dalvin Cook because they didn't want to pay him. But I'm going to let it be someone else's headache, honestly. Like, to draft, I don't like the capital that I have to spend now, and then I'm going to have to continue to spend as we get closer to the start of the regular season for Alexander Mattison. The time to buy him was 5-6 weeks ago, when he was way down there and people weren't, for whatever reason, kind of picking up on it. I did get some shares of him down there because I felt like the value is there in the 8th, 9th round. Now that he's jumped 3.5, 4 rounds in ADP, no, thank you. I'm going to let someone else deal with it, and I'm going to pivot.
With the emergence of Justin Jefferson, with the emergence of, the Vikings needing to capitalize on what they have left of Kirk Cousins and what they have, still there, they made the moves to do that. And one of those involved getting rid of Dalvin Cook in that running game. So I think that kind of throws a signal as to where they think, what this offense is going to look like, because Dalvin Cook's a good running back, still had plenty of tread on the tires, in my opinion. A little wild that he's still, unsigned right now as we talk about this in the back half of July. But I think with Mattison, it is you're going to draft him too high, and you're not going to get the value back for the draft pick. So
yeah, I mean, right now he's coming off the board coming off the board of running back 1957 overall. So you're talking tail end of the 5th round there, and there's 4 or 5 running backs that I'd far rather go with in that one. And especially kind of, how we've kind of progressed through some of this, especially if you're going like a 0 RB type of approach, or you're even going for some depth in the 5th round at the RB position. J.K. Dobbins is there. Miles Sanders, Dameon Pierce. I'd rather have every one of those guys over Alexander Mattison this season for fantasy.